if you had asked me when I was 20 how many banjos I thought I would own someday, and I would have said not even one. So, what's the saying? Play banjo, go to jail. Something like that. And it's just funny, as I began doing more and more session work, though, I would get asked, "Do you play banjo?" And I would usually say, "Nope, I don't." And then eventually, I found a banjo at a thrift store, I think, at a yard sale, I think for $75, and I took it home and I started messing with it. I picked up a couple books and started having fun with it. It's really a very counterintuitive instrument. It's a very fun instrument, and I'm not very good at it. But one of the things, the number one thing you want to work on if you're going to start playing banjo is to get a bunch of what's called rolls, banjo rolls. It's what guitar players would call finger picking patterns. And so that's kind of the key to being able to play banjo in a decent way. It's fairly easy. It's an open tune and an open G chord. This is a bluegrass banjo, 5-string. This is a good time banjo made by Deering. This is kind of their basic entry level, which is totally fine for me. It sounds great. It's not a finish or anything like that, but it's just a basic banjo. It sounds like a banjo, especially for TV and film and games, things like that where there's action going on or dialogue. It's not a lot of scrutiny. If somebody called me to play banjo on a record, I would give them someone else's number most likely, and have done that actually. But a banjo is tuned in a weird way because the highest string is on the bottom down here in the thumb position. So technically it's not up here where you normally would expect the highest note. So banjo is kind of a bass-ackwards instrument, so to speak. So the tuning is G, high G, and then D, G, B, G. So it's basically just an open G chord. So it makes it, like I said, it makes it fairly easy to kind of start banging out some. You don't even need to do anything with your left hand to be able to play some stuff on it. But generally, to sound legit for bluegrass, you want to have picks, and that takes a while to get used to. Clawhammer, which I have not gotten down yet, is more of a thumb finger thing, and that's also done on a standard bluegrass banjo usually. Okay, so I actually bought this when I started getting more and more work. This is not the $75 banjo that I got. But when I started getting more and more work, I decided I needed a little bit better banjo. And so I picked this one up, and I've used this a lot. This has been on a lot of TV shows and movies and things like that. I even was in a TV show playing it, Heart of Dixie. You can see me in the back sitting on a pickup truck with a hat on, looking like Jason Mraz, playing a banjo. I swear. Okay, then Beth and I were, when we travel, when we go, up the coast or something, I'll stop at little guitar shops, and we were in San Luis Obispo, and we stopped at this little guitar shop, and I said, "What do you have?" And always, with a thought, oh, maybe I'll buy something, I don't have to, but I could. And so he pulled out this, and I went, wow, this is cool. It's a tenor banjo. I didn't have a tenor banjo. Tenor banjo predates the bluegrass banjo. Basically, it's for Dixieland, ragtime, that kind of, so it's, over 100 years ago, and banjo is actually a very old instrument. But this banjo, the Dixieland banjo, the tenor banjo, I've got tuned, you can tune it a couple different ways, but I have it tuned just like my top 4 strings of a guitar, so it's real easy for me to find, and it's kind of intuitive. So I can do, kind of the Shakey's Pizza kind of thing, that kind of stuff on it. And I usually use a pick when I play it, but I've got it tuned D, G, B, and E. So it's just basically the same as So I could sight read on this as well if I had to. But more, and this is a Gibson. This is from 1920, so this is 100 years old. It's a Gibson banjo. It's gorgeous. The workmanship on it is solid. It weighs a ton. And I could use this to sight read if somebody gave me a lot of single note lines that were very busy, very complex or whatever, but they wanted the banjo tonality for that music. I might use this, or I might use this, and this is a Gretsch guitar banjo. So basically this is the same as the 6 strings of a guitar. So you can play, it's a little out of tune. But basically you can kind of get a banjo sound. If you wanted to, you could try to figure out some banjo licks on it to kind of get that somewhat legitimate banjo sound. But I'm more using, you can do jazz chords on it. You could do jazz stuff on it if you wanted to. But I use it mainly for sight reading, or if I need to do some jazz chords or something, then they want the banjo tonality on it. So this is a Gretsch. What was it called? It says 1883 on it. That's not the year it was made. That's just for looks. But it's a very cool little kind of workmanship, and it wasn't very expensive. I think this was $300 or $400. And it's held up pretty well. I mean, I've actually used it on a lot of things as well. Okay, now in the name of getting more tonalities, this is a banjo ukulele. So this is tuned just like a soprano ukulele, high G, and then C, E, A. So it's kind of like a guitar capoed at the 4th fret, or 5th fret, sorry. You capo your guitar at the 5th fret, and you play the top 4 strings, and that's what this is. Except that one string's up an octave. And I like it for different line doubling, maybe. But you can totally. It totally has a banjo / ukulele sound to it. And you do have to be careful with all the banjos because they have the bridges are just sitting on the head. So if you move it a little bit, it can throw the intonation off quite a bit. One of the tricks to finding the intonation is to play the harmonic like at the 12th fret, and then play the 12th fret, and those 2 notes should match. If the fretted note, when you push it down on the fret, is higher, then this distance is too short, and you need to stretch it out. So you need to pull the bridge away from your finger. If this is too flat, then you need to go the other way. That's kind of how you do. It's pretty close. But I will, when I'm in the studio, I will tune it and adjust it right before I start recording. So, all right, now these are 4 official banjo-like instruments. I have a 5th one that I just got that is very unusual instrument, and I'm putting it in the banjo camp only because it has a banjo head. But it's a Turkish cumbus, and this thing is tuned very strange. It's tuned A, B, E, A, D, G. So I have A, B, E. So I have like a 4, 5, 1 in E, and then it goes. A, D, G. And this is more, it's fretless. I can do like I can do that Scruggs bend because it's fretless. So it's kind of a cool instrument. It's called a cumbus, and it's 12-string banjo with a fretless neck. It basically is what I call it, 12-string banjo with a fretless neck. And it's basically a Middle Eastern instrument. It's only about 100 years, not this one's brand new, but the instrument itself is only about 100 years old. Zeynel Abidin Cumbus, I'm not even saying his name right, I guarantee it. He was a Turkish arms, owned a factory that made weapons of war, and he decided after World War I that he wanted to stop making weapons of war and make weapons of peace. So he decided to do this kind of entry-level oud for the common man, and so that's what he did. He retooled his factory and he started making cumbuses, and this one was made there actually itself. So. Just got it, so I haven't had a whole lot of chance to mess with it. But anyway, so those are my 4.5 banjos that I have. I thought you might get a kick out of it, and there's a reason for each one of them. They each serve a different purpose, and they've all have a little story behind them of sorts. So it's kind of fun. I try to have a reason for getting something, or sometimes it's just you find something, you just got to pick it up. And so every one of my instruments has a little bit of a story behind it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, please. Do the, hit the bell, notification bell, and I'll try not to bug you with a bunch of videos, okay? I'll talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.